Howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay! Another day. The world continues to spin on its axis. It continues to rotate around the sun. The sun continues to rotate around the center of the galaxy. The galaxy continues making its small movements within the local cluster. The local cluster is moving towards the great attractor. We don't actually know what the great attractor is. We just know it must be pretty big. It's attracting a whole bunch of stuff towards it. So, hey, it's good to be moving. Life is motion. Couple things I wanted to talk about. Some of them really minor and silly. Let's see if I can remember which one that I wanted to talk about first. This is something I've actually wanted to talk about for a while, but it was only after I put things together with my talk on a reaction video about difficult music, that things started to come together in my head about this. Organic processes take time. No matter how old or young you are, organic processes take time. That's why quite often if somebody says something like, hey, you're going to go to the store, you go, huh? And then after a beat, it clicks in, you go, oh. And then you say, yeah, I'm going to. Because you hear it, you have to process it, then it goes. Things take time. It takes time for electrical circuits to activate and fire. It takes time for chemical processes to happen. It takes about a quarter second to really process something if you're really moving fast. Excuse me. That's why a lot of jokes, a lot of quick videos and such, you have to give people processing time before you head on to the next thing. Because otherwise, there's nothing. They're going to miss the joke, no processing time. Or they're processing that joke and there's something happening, so they don't have time. Even in movies where they really push the envelope, because the people that made the movie Airplane, they had the rule that if they're not making a joke, if they're doing something non-joke in the foreground, had to be a joke in the background. And if the joke was in the background, then they did something non-joke in the foreground. There was always a joke happening somewhere, but it wasn't both at the same time, because it was giving you time to process. A lot of things I don't really like that are compilation stuff, like these perfectly cut screams where somebody reacts and in the middle of a shout they cut the scream. I don't really like that. It doesn't give you time to really process things before it's on to the next stuff. Gen Z humor is a lot of really fast stuff, really quick cuts. Not all Gen Z humor, cutting edge stuff, the stuff that's really weird, that's fast cuts, that doesn't give you time to process before it's on to the next thing. I thought that was an issue because, again, organic processes, electrical processes, you take time to process. And a lot of these really like bizarre TikTok, and I don't have Instagram or any of these other stuff, so I don't know. I'm a big boomer on these things, but I've seen the compilations on these and they're just, I don't like them because no time to process what's happening before it's on to the next thing. Again though, I had a video where on my reaction channel, I've been reacting to a lot of very difficult music, and I love that. That's awesome. I love difficult music. Make no mistake, I like regular music and, mainstream music, product. I like music, so I like to listen to anything. But I enjoy difficult music a lot more. I was talking about, because I try to analyze the songs and what's going on with them after I listen and react, about what it is about some of these things, why they're anti-music, what they're trying to do in the experimental phase. They're trying to subvert expectations. So they stretch something out into it's uncomfortable, you think it's going to end, so they stretch it out longer. Or there's stuff that you think doesn't fit, so they use it more. They're subverting your expectations and sometimes doing it to the point that the music can be uncomfortable or unpleasant. But that's part of the music. It's supposed to be that way. Makes me think now that the point of some of these things with it so fast is, hey, I'm a boomer. It takes me a while to figure this stuff out. I'm not an actual boomer. I'm not, I promise, but I am older. But anyway, the point of those is to do it before you have a chance to. Maybe these people are not consciously understanding why they're doing it this way, but it is still a subversion of expectations. Do it fast, do it quick, no time to process. That's part of the humor. Now, things that you have to break down and analyze kind of ruins things, but I like to understand stuff, and there have been a couple of videos by people who are a part of the age and such that are analyzing videos on why is this so strange, and they're not looking at it as boomer stuff, they're looking at it from the point of view of, I'm this age, here's what's happening. A lot of it, of course, is just opinion. But they're interesting to see because there are differences. Now, I still think that a lot of stuff that's going on is just, it's Dada, and you have to look up Dada. I'm not really going to explain it, but it's pretty bizarre on its own, with surrealism and a huge amount of postmodernism. Now, I don't mean postmodernism philosophy as culture and all that, but just the postmodern art movement along with the Dada art movement with a huge dash of surrealism thrown on top. And that's what a lot of Gen Z humor appears to be from my older eyes. It really looks, when I analyze Dada and surrealism and postmodern art, and then take a look at what all these really odd and strange current TikTok things are, and yeah, it looks like postmodern Dada with a whole bunch of surrealism, which is fine. I mean, it's good, but it's good. I mean, you have to push the envelope. You always have to push the envelope. Comfort is stagnation, and stagnation is death, because life is motion. I'm one of those that feels you have to always push at the envelope of what there is, what current cultural norms are, because comfort is stagnation. And so that's why a lot of the stuff I try to think of for stories, there are a lot of the safe stories that I could write where they're just stories, but I don't want to just do that. I'm trying to think of things that are different to write about, which also ties into this, because I mentioned, I think it was just yesterday, how I'd come up with the idea of the WNKLV sort of radio thing, and now I've got a whole thing I've been really chewing on in my head with the we're on the outside, there's a whole world on the inside, but the people that I'm not writing about yet, thinking about right now, they live in a zone that's razor's edge. It's not in, it's not out. A lot of them that just live there, they just live there now because they were born there and their town is there, so they live there. But a lot of the people that went and prospected and made these towns in those areas, made them specifically because they were grouchy enough they didn't want to go all the way in, but they also didn't, they were non-conforming enough as well the other direction, they didn't want to come all the way out. So right there on the razor's edge, they're not really in, they're not really out. And so you have places like Tenasket Valley with the town of Tenasket in the center of it. These are places that they have their own internet on the inside. And then of course there's ours, and places that are in the razor's edge, they have to use extra software, because they use slightly different protocols, and it's easy to access outward from the inward, but we don't have software to emulate and connect going inward, so it's hard to see inward. But they still, in places like Tonasket, they connect and they do TikTok challenges, the young people, and they do YouTube videos, and a lot of people still think that's just all fake stuff. But, they'll say, hey, visited my friend Stacy in Apple Rock. And, there's people in Apple Rock that do their stuff, and there's people in Ash Ridge that do their stuff, and there's people in Tonasket. The people in Apple Rock actually started up something on TikTok that's a major problem in Tonasket right now. Every little town on the Razor's Edge has its own little thing. And as one of the residents put it, because I was trying to think about it, these things that happen, they're not magic, but they're not really science either. It's stuff we don't understand yet. We just grew up around it, so we don't even really see it. But yeah, that's stuff. And so in Tonasket, on the full moon, you don't look at the moon. You do not look at the moon. Couple decades back, this one young woman, well, it used to be everyone carried just handguns, but in case somebody looked at the moon on a full moon. But so many decades went by that they stopped carrying. And then a few decades back from the present, this young woman was staring at the moon. And by the time that they were able to round up enough people to try and get a posse together of sorts, well, she transcended, and a whole bunch of kids grew up without fathers before they could take care of the problem. And so for a while, people carried again, but then things calmed down, and it became a if you want to, you can, but if you don't want to, you don't have to sort of thing. Now, to troll the people of Tonasket, the young people of Apple Rock have been posting the Lunar Challenge, where they show themselves staring at a full moon and taking pictures of themselves and videos dancing in the music with them staring at the full moon. And of course, it being the internet, people on the outside, because they're posting everywhere and it's, outside postings, people on the outside here are doing the Lunar Challenge. And so now, the adults in Tonasket have had to enforce a mandatory curfew on the 3 full days of the full moon every month. And not only that, they're having to, each one of them, during those times, they go out on patrols, they're carrying heavy-duty hand weaponry with high reactive piercing shells. They don't want anybody to grow up without fathers again, or mothers, as the case may be, or just a genderless parent. They don't want any of that again. So they're talking to all the young people of Tonasket saying, don't do this. Because, of course, people have been. Now, of course, if you glance at the full moon really fast during the full moon, which makes sense, if you just do it once really fast, you'll be fine. And if you're out during the full moon, as long as you're looking below the horizon line, you can even have the moon up there in the sky. But don't look up and don't look at it, or, oh boy. And every little place on the Razor's Edge has that. And of course, further you go in, the odder it gets until they have their own internet again. And of course, it being an alternate sort of place, there's the Walton Family equivalent. One of the decades back when they were first starting up, one of the family members actually wandered inward, loved it, set up inside, and now there's a Walmart inside, the Walmart outside. They usually don't connect that much. They're aware of each other, but they don't, of course, the same corporation, but there's one store in the Lansrum area that's a super center that has, of course, the inward stuff, but they also have a lot of outward stuff too. Ooh. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank I'm going to thank as many people as left comments. There haven't been even 20 in a very long time. So thumbs up to actually everybody that does leave a comment. It is appreciated to no end. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count in American Sign Language, no matter how many people I'm going to be counting up to, with my depression, fibromyalgia, mostly partially treated ADHD, I do get lost. You know, I'm still getting better, but one day I'm going to reach that wall. We have Thomas Mogensen, thumbs up and thank you. Ice Damon, no it's not, but thank you very much. Johnny K, greatly appreciated and thumbs up. Sam Torbert, thumbs up and thank you. We have Louis Gonzalez, hey, greatly appreciated. We have Big T, thumbs up. There is Rick Sanchez with the comment from my weather report video. I had a lot of comments at first that were like, are you okay? Are you all right? What's happening here? So thumbs up. And Ollie B, James Hawkins, thumbs up. We have Alex the Gordo, thumbs up. Mihawk S, greatly appreciated. And Hokey smokes, wisdom teeth coming out is no fun. We have JL, greatly appreciated. SS Epicness, thumbs up. Hamoud Abugali, and I'm going to try and get Undertale done. Thumbs up, thank you for the idea. We have Aven Amani, thumbs up. And then there is, that's a heck of a name, Squeech478, but I hope you feel better as well. And that is it. 14 people, it looks like, or 15. I don't know how many people it is. 9? 8? However many people it was. Like 8 people? 6? However many it was. Thank you, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, and it is appreciated. No matter how many people comment, no matter how many people watch through to the end, thank you. Whoever does, it is appreciated. And with my hands in the air, I don't know what device you're watching this on, so I don't know where the video description is, but inside the video description are links to all of my channels. I'm going to have to cough. If you could check that out, that would be awesome. Also links to like my Patreon. Well, I've done that out of order again. It is links to things like my Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon. And if you could become a patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money, somewhere in that video description is a link to my PayPal. If you could check that out, that would be awesome as well. There's also a link to an Amazon wish list if you'd like to help me out without sending money. Hopefully I've got it updated with things like cat food. That would be very, very cool. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Oh yes, and then of course, is it of course? I can't even remember now, but it's do not feel obligated, I do not feel entitled, and if you cannot or simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence, a definite thumbs up, and of course, if you could hit the notification button on the subscription bell, on the subscription button, that would be very cool as well, definitely a thumbs up. Well, Hokey smokes. I still got a few things that I want to talk about, like tomorrow, and I barely scratched the surface of what I've been working on with that whole inward and outward sort of thing, so hopefully I'll be able to get more work done on that and let everyone know. Yay! What am I doing for videos still? I'm caught still with this whole brain fog, and as much as I'm aware of it and trying to fight against it, I'm still suffering from depression, hopefully coming out of it, with the use of my extra lighting, and even at that, I've got to have enough recharge on my rechargeable batteries so that I can get stuff done. So I'm hoping to get some recording done today. We'll see if that's possible. It would definitely be a thumbs up. Hopefully you're going to be creative as well. Be creative. Life is motion. Definitely a thumbs up on that. So, with the Covfefe bug raging around the world, if you don't have to go out among others, please try to socially isolate as best you can that way. If you do have to go out, maintain your social distancing, wear a mask, wash your hands often, try not to touch your face, get vaxxed if you can, get a booster when it's available, and also when it becomes available, get a flu shot. That's always a good idea. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is, well, quite frankly, a definite thumbs up in my book.